Is the OPPO O screen actually just repurposed watch inventory? How powerful is the long-lost micro-gimbal technology on the Reno 16 Pro? You'll find out after watching this teardown. Congratulations on stumbling upon this teardown video while your battery is on standby. The Reno 16 Pro just went on sale, and I immediately bought a 12 plus 512GB model for $4,399 to tear down and test. The Reno series has always had an edge in photography, but this time they've added the Dimensity 9500S. So many fans want to see this device. Mine is the blue version, and there's another colorway with a 3D embossed effect called Konglan Shingdong. As for that pattern, I've seen even Mr. Zhong Wender say it's impossible to capture its true effect on camera.
Oh my! This is truly a crisis for our video shoot.
I checked the dugout at the store, and the planet really looks like it's floating in mid-air. I also bought the very popular OPPO Bubble, which cost 499 yuan. Before it came out, some smaller domestic brands made back screens for iPhone. I checked them out back then. They had no real functions, but still sold for over 5,400 rupees. Translated into Chinese, it's called OPPO Pao Pao. Hey, Upao. Compared to the 3D Smart Window on the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max, this little O screen can be used as a detachable secondary display. Its magnetic feature is also perfectly compatible with the iPhone. Besides the magnetic attachment, you can put it in a case and use it as a backpack accessory or a digital fidget toy. Some folks online say this was made from a watch, but I compared it to my own OPPO watch and it is much larger. This is how it looks on the wrist, so theoretically it shouldn't be a modified watch. We will confirm once we take it apart later. The operation of this small O screen is also very simple. See, long press to change the wallpaper, swipe up to launch the camera, and swipe down for the status bar. I checked the camera out, they may still retire the compatible models, and other OPPO phones can connect to it as well. Once connected, you can freely set wallpapers from your own photo album, like adding anime characters or your favorite idols. Besides being a digital fidget toy, it can also serve as a digital pet. There are many animal characters available, and once set up, it will constantly refresh with different states. Of course, its most important feature is that it can be used as a secondary screen for taking photos, so you won't get scolded by your girlfriend for bad framing. Plus, this little O screen has very low latency. I also tested the image clarity. Take a look at these photos, one from the front and one from the back. The front-facing clarity looks like this, while the clarity using the rear screen and the main camera looks like this. It can even capture the blood vessels in my eyes. The effect is truly impressive. If you have the budget for the Reno 16 Pro but still want an OPPO phone with great camera performance, the previous two generations of the OPPO Find X7 Ultra are actually a solid choice. I checked the resale prices on JohnJohn, and the 512GB model is only around 1,900 now. That is nearly 5,000 cheaper than the 7,000 launch price. Many high-end phones have dropped to bargain prices. You simply cannot buy a new phone with such great camera performance at this price point. The 1-inch sensor combined with the dual periscope setup is still top tier even today. Plus, phones from JohnJohn undergo multiple rounds of official quality inspection, so buying secondhand from them is truly reliable. Okay, that covers the appearance and features of the phone, and the little O screen. Now, what about the inside of this phone? Is the little O screen electronic pad actually a modified watch? Let's get right into the teardown. First, put it on the heating pad for 2.5 minutes, then use a prying tool to remove the back cover. After removing it, the back cover is made of glass, which I personally feel has a much better texture than plastic. Turning it over to the back, you can first see this white part, which is the waterproof vent used to balance internal and external air pressure. Below that is the flash. You can see that it takes up a really large portion of the cutout. Now, looking at the corresponding flash position inside the phone, you will understand. The Reno 16 Pro Flash uses 2 LED beads, which is one more than most phones. Next to it is a 13-channel color temperature sensor, which helps prevent skin tone discoloration when taking portraits. And you can also see a super large base next to the main camera. The size of this lens is even larger than many 1-inch main cameras, so there is a lot to talk about regarding the internal structure of this phone. Okay, so what score from 1 to 91 would you give the internal design of the Reno 16? I have to say, OPPO's engineering has always been very neat. Now let's remove the motherboard cover. After removing it, we can see that the motherboard cover uses quite a lot of metal material, and the plastic parts are also designed with reinforcement ribs, so there is definitely no issue with its strength. The backside, corresponding to the ribbon cables, also features this cushioning foam design. It is truly very detailed. Flipping it to the front, we can see that its motherboard has an NFC coil and a rear microphone. The 2 flash beads mentioned earlier can adjust the flash in real time based on the lens magnification. The wireless charging coil under the motherboard cover also feels very thin. I measured it, and it is only 0.25 millimeters. Hey, this feels like the same technology as the 10,000 yuan foldable OPPO Find N60 we took apart before. The reason it is made so thin is to leave more space for the battery, and its power has not been cut either. It is still 50 watts of wireless charging power. Okay, now let us take off the camera module. First is this 1.56 1-inch 200 megapixel main camera, and you can see it features micro gimbal technology. I poked it with tweezers, and its range of motion is quite significant. Checking the official website, it says it can reach plus or minus 4 degrees. Combined with the 200 megapixel cropping, this image stabilization should be incredibly powerful. I remember Vivo used a similar technology for a while, and it was widely acclaimed back then. But later, they likely gave it up due to challenges with internal stacking. Let's install it and test the actual performance for you. Wow, this automatic stabilization feels truly futuristic. Next is a 3.5x 50 megapixel inverted periscope telephoto lens. This inverted periscope is a major innovation that OPPO has contributed to the industry over the past 2 years. You see, after inverting it, the entire lens assemblies The size becomes very small. Next is a 50 megapixel ultra-wide lens and a 50 megapixel front camera. Although the pixel count of the front one is already very high compared to the effect we just got using the small O screen and the phone's rear camera, it is still just a tiny bit off. I can first remove the screws and take out the motherboard. You can see that under the motherboard, both the inverted periscope telephoto lens and the system on a chip heat dissipation area feature a mid-frame cutout design for direct vapor chamber contact. On the motherboard, we can also see components like the infrared emitter and the rear ambient light sensor integrated directly onto it. Looking at the motherboard from the side, it is actually a single layer design, which helps with heat dissipation, and that is truly a great feature. Plus, the phone uses the Dimensity 9500S processor, and its performance is about the same as the Snapdragon 8 Elite. Oh my god. Since when has Reno used a 9 series Dimensity chip? Also, it has features like OPPO's Tidal engine, so it feels like this phone is perfectly fine for gaming. As for the build quality, details like the sealant on small components and the rubber gaskets on the cable connectors are also very well done. Looking at the bottom speaker, it uses a 1012 specification, supplied by AAC Technologies. Moving to the middle section, it features a 7000 mAh battery, nearly matching the X9 Ultra. I've used the X9 Ultra, and the battery life is truly top tier. The manufacturer is still Dongguan Ningde technology, using a single-cell dual interface design for faster charging and a longer lifespan. Now, looking at the bottom, you can see from the outside that the metal content in the charging port cover is quite high. I have to say, OPPO is really generous with their materials. After removing it, the cover is indeed very sturdy. I will now disconnect the charging port ribbon cable. On the small charging port board, just like before, all components are sealed with glue, and the ribbon cable connectors are protected by rubber pads. Additionally, the wireless charging speed for the port has reached 80 watts. The bottom speaker is a 1015 specification unit from AAC Technologies. Underneath the speaker, you can see the screen's touch IC is a Synaptics S3910V. This is Synaptics' flagship touch IC, the same one used in its big brother, the X9 Ultra. The components are truly impressive. Furthermore, OPPO has optimized this touch IC to include a glove mode, so you can use it even while wearing gloves. The motor is removed and it uses a 0809 specification, which is a standard level. Okay, that is enough for the phone for now. Let us take apart this small O screen to see if it is really a modified watch screen. After heating it on the heating pad for 2.5 minutes, the screen is quite easy to remove. First, looking at the back, the actual screen size is at least 2 sizes larger than a watch, so we can rule out the possibility that it uses leftover watch stock. Looking closely, you can also see its touch IC is a CST9217 from Chip C Technologies, and this series of ICs is specifically designed for small capacitive touchscreens are commonly used in devices like watches and smart bands. The assembly process is quite advanced, using solder bolts to mount them directly onto flexible circuit boards. This type of packaging significantly reduces internal space, making it perfect for devices with strict thickness and size constraints. I didn't expect OPPO to use such high-tech solutions for these small components. Now, let's look at the main body. I checked the battery capacity and it uses a 550 mAh battery. The motherboard features an irregular design, and you can see metal reinforcements at the fragile corners. Below that is a Type-C charging port. The entire motherboard is manufactured by a major brand, Kingboard Technology. So at a price of $499, would you choose to buy one to play with? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section.